you might know. Okay. We're going to do like a building tour tomorrow. So Spruce will start, I think the whole thing's in Spruce, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So just a number of Alpine homes. Actually Nathan is one of the people who saw their houses, and then a super experienced realtor named Jay Lewis. So Jay, Nathan will give us a tour through. The idea is like building materials, most of this stuff, but give you a bit of an idea of what, not as much what Alpine does, but just in general.
Yeah.
The process and stuff like that. So I think we're meeting. Can we make sure David has the info?
Yeah.
9 AM sharp. I'm not sure what that means, Shaylin, but
Because everybody's gonna show up at 9:30. Because normally we start at 10,
yeah,
so like shock a lot of people,
yeah,
I think.
yeah. I think there'll be some Catholic folks too, so that's good.
These are past tours, people show up like half an hour late, 45 minutes late, and then are lost because we're already on the second property and different things, so.
Who's A? No.
I think that, is that Anthony? Who is the A Nawaz online?
Sean here. How are you?
Oh, okay,
Sorry.
Sounds good, thanks.
Okay, so we'll do quick intros. You can record it if you want. It doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah, we are recording.
We will start to my left. It's full of space.
Thanks.
So I've been with the brokerage since January last year. Where that was with these people that have been in the academy with Tim Chilling. Doing a lot here. I just got an office here today. Grind a little bit, yeah. So really looking forward to that. Got me in a nutshell. Actually, my wife is just in the process of getting licensed, so she should be hopefully with a little green dot sometime this week. So we're tag team, we can get together, it's a husband and wife team. Yeah, that's exciting.
Is my criminal record check this now, is it like just in a couple days?
Yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah, it's the paperwork stuff that we're just waiting for to get the approval back. Yeah. Should be good. Yeah. Good.
My name's David, just starting today. Yeah, I've been a business owner for the last several years. I own a landscaping property management company. Done some real estate in the past as far as wholesaling and flipped properties. And moving forward here, today's kind of my first official day. So,
Almost first official day.
yeah, almost my first official day. So I'm just waiting for the green light, similar to Tim's better half.
Yeah, yeah, good stuff. So just go through online, Sean, you're first up. And by the way, if everybody can like do the face thing
Yeah,
online,
put your
that'd be
thumb on.
so much more helpful. It's like talking to a word, it's not.
Colin?
Oh. All right. I'm actually getting my tires done at Costco and having coffee at Denny's. So.
That sounds good to me. I'd like to watch that. Okay, anyway, Sean, maybe just quick intros, please.
Oh yeah, Sean here. I just started with you guys with Remax actually 2 weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago. I'm still learning, I think, the real estate business. I used to sell furniture and appliances. I had my business for over 20 years.
You know?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's it.
Excellent. Okay, welcome, Sean. Thanks. Nate.
You're welcome.
Hey guys, I'm Nate. I've been in Remax 2-3 months now. Been a realtor since February. Yeah, before that I sold cars, so I love being here. So that's all.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. J. Anthony.
Hello, my name is Janvi and I'm with Remix since April now.
Yes. Thanks. Thanks, Janvi. J. Anthony. It sounds the same, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Jerome, how's it going?
Okay, what are we calling?
Okay.
Okay. Jerome or Anthony? Jerome Anthony? He might be believing.
Okay, cool.
Oh, sorry
well-
about that. Sorry. Yeah, I was trying to unmute. I can unmute my face, but I'm at the gym and I didn't want to miss it. So
That's okay,
here,
that's good. So what are we
here, can you
calling him
see me?
Jerome or Anthony?
Anthony's fine. Anthony's fine.
Okay, I like that.
Cool.
Now we have two,
Anthony.
Anthony and Anthony.
Yeah.
Excellent. You're actually doing like exercise.
Stretching already. Okay, you get a pass if you don't need to show, if you don't want to.
Sorry.
Do you want to just do a quick intro to the group?
Pardon?
Give us a quick intro of yourself.
Oh, well, I have 20 years experience, I believe. That's what the years say. I've been with Remax Excellence here for approximately 6 weeks on the ground, but I joined before I moved from Ontario. Before I came, I interviewed 3 Remaxes, and I was impressed by all of them. But Excellence was excellent, was the best. The support and everything that I've gotten so far has really rejuvenated me and motivated me. I feel like I'm starting over, but with a little experience. I've been doing open houses for the last 3 weeks. Actually had a buyer and put an offer on Justin Jerome's, one of the open house I did for him. We put an offer on Sunday that went by. Unfortunately, there were 6 offers at the time, and I guess maybe the sellers didn't get what they wanted because they decided to terminate the listing on a whole. But I'm gonna do my best to hold on to the buyer that I did have and let him know that we could try to find something else for him. And I'm just gonna continue to do that. What I've learned or what's been coming to me is that anything that you do in real estate, you got to do it hard and you got to do it a lot. Consistency seems to be the word of the day in everything right now, but I learned from even Tim, like your words, they always echo to me is volume. You said that a couple of weeks ago. And regardless of what you choose or whatever path, make sure you put a lot of volume in it and you will start to see seeds or you'll see results.
Thank you.
Good.
And just to add, I don't know if we heard the 28-year part, but that's like legit. He's been in real estate for a long time, very successful realtor in Ontario and making kind of the blind jump here. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for adding as well. I really appreciate that of anybody, but it's been really good. So thank you.
And you're
Thanks for
motivating
allowing
me
me
to go to the gym.
to still join. Yeah, my apologies. I don't want to miss the meeting, but I lost over 35 pounds this year myself. So my physical journey is just as important as everything. It speaks to the mindset.
Yeah,
Perfect. Yeah,
awesome.
you can do 2 things at once.
Oh,
At least.
our daughter's upcoming wedding, my weight loss plan is turned into weight gain plan. So that's not.
So nobody who doesn't know Shaylin, but Danielle, do you want to do a quick intro?
Yeah, hi, I'm Danielle. I guess I joined Remax in like May.
Yeah.
But I'm like a scatterbrain who does 200 things at a time. So, but I'm, at this point I'm pot committed, so I'm back in the academy and I'm also doing brokering now. I'm licensed in that as well. And yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool.
And I'm serving part-time to get out and socialize. So, yeah.
We should talk.
Twice a week, yeah. Just to like get out of the house. So that's also why I'm here in the classroom and not at home on the computer, because I'm doing so much at home on the fucking computer, part of my French. So much on
Thank you.
so much on the computer. I'm sick of looking at screens. So I was like, I'm gonna go in person. And so yeah, so I'm here. Hi.
Yeah, come in person. I just, this is not like self-serving, but what I think it is, the best I can figure it, is the people who are here every day, we learn a bit, but it's more this kind of a bit of social and then a bit of like learning from each other, learning from us. So this academy wasn't set up to be like us, like, profoundly educating you on anything. It's also part of being in this group of people who can work together. I heard J. Anthony and Justin did an open house on his listing, made an offer, So there's lots of work that happens amongst each other here. But just as importantly, the people who are the most successful, like spend every day here.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, our top performers.
Yeah.
Were constantly here, like their first.
I don't know.
ish.
I'll use this example. I don't think he'd mind, but Knall, came in, he came from he had a business at the time, nightclub and a restaurant. He ended up selling them both and, kind of jumping 100% into real estate. He was scared crapless. Is that fair to say?
Mhm.
Like very, very scared, but he was here every day. He, Teo, like Shillings is our top performers. I think that he might be sharing this, but he's gonna do 100 deals this year.
Wow.
And he started from nothing. He doesn't even have, he's like me. He didn't like and still doesn't like to go to a sphere of influence. So his have all been generated like online. We parted on the lead gen stuff, like, he's just an interesting character because he can just do this kind of volume and he 100% would have massive credit towards being here with a lot of people. And then a lot of people he was in the group with, or just after, or just before, so it's a year, so he would have been at the end of the original people and at the beginning of the second and third year people, but he connected with pretty much everybody, so he does work in one way or another with everybody. Eva, like with a whole bunch of people, so everybody's different, he's a different character, we're all different characters, but yeah, he was here every single day, and a lot of them were, Eva was, Lana was, Lana, a lot of people just don't want to leave, and they don't have a choice.
I know.
After being in here 1 year, you're out, you're out.
Yeah.
So-
But it's good for us too, like for us, like we understand you guys, the goal is to get busy. So for you to eventually not need us and fly out of the nest a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, and
But
people misinterpret what we do as like a training program or a coaching program. It's not that at all. This is something completely different. And what it is we are trying to help you make money. That's it. That's it. That's it. So when we preach to be here, we mean we preach to be here so you can make money, because that's all that really matters to us, right? So,
and we're still, like probably each of us almost every night having a phone call
Totally.
from some realtor in the
Yep.
academy, like ask questions or
yeah, and that's
advice, calming them down.
mostly.
They're calming down.
It's funny because we'll get the call and then be like, person will explain what's going on. Yeah, this has happened a million times before, so here's what we do and here's why it's not a problem, so. That's the best part of this, okay. Anyway, so that's that. So we're getting into, are you recording this now? Oh, are you recording all that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You want me to stop it?
No, I don't care. And then Danielle's that bomb, I'll drop a couple of yours. People,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm making a sign. I'm
okay.
making one of those like, you know, those like work injury, like start at day one.
Yeah.
I'm doing that. For, like,
Oh,
for-
yeah, how many days? Like,
Yeah.
I did that.
Incident free.
They have the different words though, too. They can say the S word without the F. It's gonna be conditions. Okay, yeah, so we're finally we're out of the marketing section module, I guess. And jumping into the helping buyers module. This one's gonna be a bit chunky because we're gonna do a session today, and then we have the offsite tomorrow, and then the sales meeting is next Tuesday, and we'll be in kind of session 2 on Wednesday. So it's not gonna flow all that well until hopefully after next week. But that's just the way that it works out sometimes. So the focus with helping buyers is gonna be all around identifying buyers and then helping them through the nurturing process. So you helping them nurture through the sales process, as well as a fair bit about like contracts and everything else. So I got away a lot from somehow we evolved into focusing way too much time on contracts. And a lot less time on getting to the point where you have to worry about a contract. So we're gonna focus more on getting to the point where you have to worry about a contract. And being available for contracts, because when we usually teach literally the purchase contract or we go through it, invariably people forget, like it's an overwhelming thing. And it's something that's fairly, lasts like 10-15 minute explanation and showing how to use the contracts. So we'll definitely do that, but it's not gonna be the emphasis of these sessions, this time.
Yeah, and we're kind of limited to like with our liability wise.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's another really good point. We're here to help you make money. We'll help you with, contract, we'll help you with buyer's agreements, we'll help you with relationships guide. But ultimately, you guys are realtors and you have to make business decisions for yourself. And that's what we're kind of focused on too, so at the end of every session, from now on, till it gets through to people, I'm gonna talk about booking appointments. Regardless of the content of what will come in the session, I really wanna start getting people to think about booking appointments. And Andre helped me really realize that yesterday when we talked just about the emphasis of booking appointments. It's great to have great conversations with people. It's great to talk with them about what they're looking for, how they're looking. But the way that the successful realtors I know measure their success is how many appointments they're booking per day. I'll use Vince Scamri or Vince Biacco. Vince Biacco as an example. Like his mission when he works is to book appointments. He really doesn't differentiate between a phenomenal appointment and a crappy appointment. It's just, he's just measuring how many appointments he's booking. So I'm the same, but more from the standpoint of activity, like calling, emailing, talking, texting. That's what I typically measure, but I'm starting to measure more my appointment bookings because I'm watching people around and then talking to agents. And when you really break it down, they measure like how many face-to-face meetings they've had, or maybe even Zoom to face, Zoom to Zoom kind of meetings as well. So make sure, so every session I'm going to talk about booking appointments, and I want you guys to set a goal for appointments booked. Maybe it's in a week, maybe it's in a day now, maybe it develops into how many per day. But an appointment can look like this. You can go to lunch with your uncle, or you can meet with your uncle for coffee, or you can meet with your aunt for coffee. Any face-to-face that you are putting out there as a realtor is an opportunity to understand and I guess maybe understand that person, but more importantly, bring what you're selling to them as well. And somebody can make a decision on how much they want to help you much easier if it's face-to-face. You're calling all your friends and kind of saying, hey, I'm doing real estate now. Do you have anybody buying or selling? There's two answers, yes or no. So you're asking closed-ended questions to begin with. You're much better off just seeing if they'll go for coffee, and then you count that as a booked appointment. Go have coffee, have the discussion with them, see how they're doing. They talk about how you're doing. Suddenly they know you're in a business which is very competitive, and then you're trying to look for more patient. So I think that booking appointments needs to be your North Star nowadays, and just focus on doing anything you can to book appointments. And like Anthony said, it's volume. So volume solves all problems. And you can use volume of leads, contacts, friends, family, whoever it is, to book as many appointments as possible. And there's no bad appointment. Like literally, there's no bad appointment. Even if you book a showing, which I would account for as an appointment, you book a showing and it doesn't go great. There's always business there. There's always opportunity to impress somebody. There's always opportunities out there if you're booking appointments. If you're not booking appointments and you're not face-to-face with people, it is so much more difficult to get business. Like so much more difficult. So that's my thing. I'm going to do this every single day. I just want to overemphasize, booking appointments. Okay, that's your mission every single day. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The green.
That's good. Okay, so now we're gonna jump into, working with buyers. And again, back to the appointment booking, the whole idea, for you guys is to identify leads or humans that are interested in real estate and move them into kind of the prospect, phase. So the difference is, and it's important to differentiate this in your mind too. So the difference is if somebody essentially who's unknown to you, and that's the lead, like you may know them personally, but let's say you just don't know their intent from a real estate perspective. So that's kind of in my mind, a lead or a person that, you know, you're not sure of their intent. Your job is, the first step is to move them into a prospect. So you know what they're looking for, or sorry, you know what their intent is in real estate. So leads, you're not sure of their intent. Prospects, you learn what their intent is.
Mhm.
Oh, but,
No,
yeah, okay.
I think in my mind, I see like the three labels,
Yeah.
kind of like lead, customer, client.
Yeah, 100%.
For me, that's easier, but this is totally like for new people for sure.
Yeah, I think it's good, like, if you want to simplify, yeah, lead, customer, client, then it's just the same thing, though. The customer part, you know their intent. And for me, there's one extra step, which is signed documents. So prospects, I know their intent, customers have signed agreements with me, and then, customers have at least identified that they know their rights through the Consumer Relationships Guide. And then clients have actually signed, buyer's agreement. So clients have hired me essentially.
Mhm.
So anything can be merged together as long as in your mind, you're differentiating the kind of steps that identifiable
Yeah.
person.
Cause a lot of new agents just call everybody their clients when they're not. Right?
Yeah, and it becomes more like it's definitely referring to people as clients, but then that eases your mind into thinking that like that's somebody who's gonna work with you, but
Yeah.
this is where it comes where like suddenly you call that person and they bought a house through another realtor. It's because you had the mindset that they were your signed clients, right? You had your mindset that, you know, they didn't need any more nurturing. So until you've nurtured somebody to a client, at the very minimum, you're still paying close attention to them. You know, they're kind of out of your sales pipeline and they're into your client pipeline. But it's very, very dangerous to think about somebody as a client if they haven't hired you. And it's very dangerous. No, I'm sorry, it's not dangerous, but it can really cause you to spin your wheels. Because you do have to bring that entity, that person, from being that lead or prospect or customer through to getting them to hire you.
Yeah.
And hiring you is all that, you know, that's the stage you need to get to.
It's really hard to have a break. Struggling.
It's a very hard habit to break.
I've been aware of it for a while.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I honestly, I struggle with it all the time.
Every time we talk about somebody, it's a client.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
They haven't signed up. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's a bit natural to think that, hey, you're going to give them enough service that they're going to hire you, and mentally you're like, of course, I'm gonna like add value. And you probably will, so there's no doubt that that's probably happening, but it's like, how do I get them to hire me? Like, hire me is the time that they become a client, but I agree with you, it is very difficult.
What's another that's one word that a person could use to describe that individual? So it's easy that I can replace the client with.
Yeah, so if it was me, prospect versus client.
Prospect.
Yeah,
So-
like lead versus client, prospect, client.
Yeah.
Yeah, just if you wanna boil it down just to two people.
I mean,
Anybody who hasn't signed with you is still-
prospect instead of always referring to them as a client.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That mind shift.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And it's respectable, right? The
Yeah.
prospect, that word, like the word lead, and it actually then reminds me of this every time we say the word, is very impersonal and very, like, I don't know, $5-ish or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like, it's non-emotional, right? Like if you,
Yeah.
if you attach the word human to it.
Yeah.
Then it kind of
Mhm.
relates to you more, I think.
I know that technically speaking, there is a defined difference between like a customer and a client, but can you not say customer?
So,
in that context?
Customer instead of process.
yeah, yes. Yeah, I mean, you can refer however the heck you want, to be honest, but the difference is, you know, if you know their intent and you wanna call them a customer. Technically, like, they're not yet, they haven't acknowledged anything, they have, like. Just from a technical standpoint, from a mental standpoint, if you're just thinking that, like, those are the people who, I know their intent, but they haven't hired me yet.
Yeah,
So saying customer kind of like leans into they've hired me.
almost, yeah.
Yeah, so
I like that process.
yeah, I like that
Your
one.
own
prospect.
mental
It really is, yeah, it really
game, I
is.
guess you could say.
So maybe the,
Prospect client.
but 100%.
I don't know if that resonates for you guys. too.
Yeah. So intent to hire. So you know their real estate intent to them hiring you. I think if you broke everything down to that, whatever phrases you want to use, and customer's much nicer than prospect, like listen. But just in your mind, they're different. They're at different stages.
Yeah, I just don't know how I would feel about somebody calling me a prospect.
I would, yeah, don't-
That's what I think, right, you know?
I would definitely not refer to anybody as a lead or prospect. Yeah.
Prospect?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no,
I don't know what I called it that, radio.
yeah.
No, of course, but I'm like, you know, is customer nicer, but I don't know, yeah.
I'm just calling people who are gonna help me pay my mortgage.
Yeah.
It's also works against you from the, like, if you're, it sounds like if you're talking to me about being like me being your customer, I'd be like, I'm not, right?
Right, yeah.
So good to
Yeah.
presume that you are, but at the same time, it's like, so it's up to you. It's up to you. There's plus minus, but as long as you're differentiating what one is and the other is. And I like this one and the other actually quite basically.
Yeah, and I think it helps you have a conversation with them too, you know, like I kind of talk to people and I said, you know what, let's meet first. You know, we can go show you the property or let's go have a coffee or a Zoom call at least so that we can figure out if we're right for each other. And if you wanna hire me as your agent, and then that kind of puts them in the driver's seat, it puts that word hire in there, and then.
Yeah.
You kind of talk about like loyalty to each other and different things, so,
Do you always do that, Shayla?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it's like a process I've done like over time. I didn't start like that, because when I started, I just wanted to work with everybody.
Yeah.
Like, pay the bill. But now, you crazy clients later. I'm like,
We're in, any business is all about getting hired, right?
Yeah.
Like sales,
Well,
sales business.
Yeah, and like different personalities, if they see that you're eager to jump at like every single thing they suggest or do, no matter what time of day, different things, like you're gonna run ragged.
Mhm.
Like it's
And
crazy.
you're gonna attract,
Yeah.
you attract people who
Well, just you.
want you to act.
Yeah.
Like they're your client, but not be your client.
True.
So that becomes a challenge.
And then you vet people too, right? Because if they're not willing to meet you
Yeah.
or jump on a Zoom call, then like, especially in the last 4 months, that you can tell instantly if they're committed or not. Like, okay, I'm not gonna waste my time. I'll put them, follow up with them, but.
And it becomes a skill that's developed over time. It's developed by trial and error. Hopefully we can help you with the error side, because I'll see things that people are excited about and honestly just know immediately that it isn't likely to make sense.
Yeah.
So use us for that as well. But you're right, it's a matter of screening and attracting your ideal client. If your ideal client isn't somebody, I doubt probably is not somebody looking to do 50 showings and decide to buy $100,000 condo that could never close, right? So make sure that, just make sure that you're screening and ask us every opportunity. is good.
If I'm not jumping ahead, or maybe this is something you're gonna go over, like, I know that from my experience in the car business, when there's certain questions that you ask and they kind of help you to determine your next move, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you would ask them like, is it that you don't see the value in this product, or is it that, it's the price is too high, or is it that this or whatever? It kind of helps you to, if they don't see the value, don't fucking just
Yeah.
like stop where you're at, right?
Yeah.
But if it's numbers or whatever, so I guess in this context, are there like baseline, like really solid, good baseline questions that, if I'm not jumping ahead of the, that you would recommend asking?
Yes, for sure. So we'll get to this kind of line of thought in a few minutes, but just to get ahead of it. Yeah, in our business, you have to be able to pay for what you want. So if a person isn't pre-qualified or qualified to buy the house, that's the number one goal in the book for me. If they want to meet to talk about how to get approved or how to meet with a mortgage professional, that is how, you know, I'll start to decide. But honestly, everything starts from financing. For me anyways, I don't know, and that's developed over time. It used to be like, oh, how many beds, how many baths? But quite frankly, those parameters change during a person's search. And the most important thing can become the least important thing really quickly. So for me, it's more about understanding the person, understanding the family, understanding what their ultimate goals are. But it all starts with, once I know that, and I can talk to them about financing, we can talk about reality. Because you can, you need to have, we need to know what their ideal world is, right? That's great. We need to know that. We need to understand why they have that desire to have what they want to have. We have to understand their wants versus their needs. And then once we've just discussed that in a face-to-face meeting, we can narrow down like the financing challenges or financing opportunities maybe. And sometimes people qualify for way more than they thought they might, and if that might help them get into their 4-bedroom versus 3-bedroom. You know, it's such a moving target that I think if you focus on meeting people and understanding what they want, and then making sure they understand the financing, and it might work either way. Like really experienced realtors will be able to hear on the phone and then figure out the financing and have that discussion immediately. But newer realtors, sometimes it's like, let's meet with the person first and then find out. My problem is if you meet with them showing 5 houses, different houses, you just like get everything confused. Suddenly it's about the house for them. It's not about the house for them. It's about being able to buy the house, right?
And I think
So-
we reached the point is that if you're showing them
Huge.
$500,000 houses and then they only qualify
Mhm.
for like 4 or 10, then their expectations for a house are here already. And now everything you show them underneath is just, they're gonna be disappointed with.
Yeah.
And our time, like I learned it the hard way too, it's just like my time is precious, right? Like with busy family and different things. So I'm like, instead of running around with the chicken with my head cut off, I'm like, no, like I want to vet you and making sure that I'm going out because I'm like, it costs me gas money, it costs me time with my family, all of this stuff. So like, I want to make sure that I'm putting it in towards something that's gonna benefit me.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it's, at the end of the day, if it's all about your prospect slash homeless client, when you're done, come in. Okay,
That's not.
yeah. Then they have to know what they can afford. So it's almost the reverse, to be honest, and this might be something that's gonna be different for you than the car business, where you're selling them on the vehicle, and then I don't wanna say forcing the financing, but you're making the financing work, right? This is almost the opposite, where like you need to know what they have to go out and sell them.
Kind of how we would do with a subprime.
Yeah, exactly, yeah,
Get them
for sure.
approved and then pick them
Yeah,
apart.
and then grab them apart, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but also from the perspective that, hey, like, I'm doing my job as a realtor by helping you understand what you can shop and how much money you have to shop. And if I ran around showing you houses, that's not fair to you. Who cares about me? I don't really care. That's my job. I can run around and show you 100 houses if that's really what you want. But let's find out what we can do. And people see that. I think maybe this might be one of the really helpful things with the academy is like, I think if people don't know, they think that it's about showing houses and setting up searches. I would say that it's setting up searches is like a convenience and maybe a crutch for the realtor, but understanding what the person needs and understanding what they can afford is so much more important than firing out searches.
Well, then you can provide a quality service too.
Yeah, exactly.
Work within those parameters that.
Yeah, their home purchase, like it's changing their life in somehow, whether it like it be an investment property or somewhere they're gonna live. It's just a change in their life. So once you start to understand that, then you know, the humanity comes in and then you can,
Totally. And then the realities are that somebody, you've got this safe search set up, which I'm not a big fan of anymore, but it's a good tool. Then you're firing out emails, and then suddenly they start sending you like Realtor.ca listings, so just listings they found it on their own.
Mm.
It's because their parameters have changed,
Mhm.
right? You haven't noticed that the parameters change. So for me, understand what they want. Maybe they want close to a school, so they asked you for a 4-bedroom search, but 3-bedroom is just fine because they'll get some bunk beds. Like there's just these things that you need to talk with them
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Especially when you see deviation from what you first talked about, they want to have those discussions. You don't want to run out and show people the properties.
But they learn more as they work with.
Exactly, yeah, exactly, exactly.
What they want. And, okay, so here's some other, these are options that, you know,
Exactly, and
that
a
we
lot
can
of,
work with or sacrifice.
I think too, like, you find that you have more empathy when you've gone through that situation before too, because, you know, I've sold acreages and this and that, but then putting in my own septic tank. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, like, this is that, so it's like,
Yeah.
it's different, right? You gotta understand it better.
Tom, do you want to do a quick intro?
Yes.
No, I asked Kunal to come in, just, we were just talking about you earlier.
No,
In
I'm
a
just,
positive way.
yeah. Just 3 years old to the industry. I think I joined in 22nd October, and that was my joining date for Remax. And the Remax Excellence has over the first brokerage I ever joined. And it's been an exciting journey so far. Still, there's a lot to do for me. And still trying to work my way up where I want to be.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I'm just a resident here, right?
Yeah.
Resident.
So we're just saying, like, you're here every day.
Yeah.
Every day, like almost every day, you know, yeah. And there's a few people too who are here every day, so, yeah. But Kunal's had great success, I think that's obvious, like always in the top 10 of that office, which is crazy. But I think just more than anything, like just understand your clients. And maybe just talk to, like, just give us a bit of an idea of, like a typical, maybe conversation on the phone with a client or with a prospect or a lead.
Well, a perfect example of pick up yesterday's conversation with a client. I met them at an open house, and I knew that they're gonna buy. But when I didn't know that, they were under their market process and everything. So I had an automated monthly text system, already just nothing follow up or nothing. Just texting, hey, hope you're doing well, just wanted to follow up. How's your mortgage pool coming along? Because I know that they were a little bit farther in the process, because they had to sell a property or something. Now, obviously, during this time, they'll always meet different agents too. It can happen when a person is browsing online, looking for a house, they'll come across exactly the same thing happen. So I simply opened up myself because I won't invest my time with anybody who's also committed to me, whether I get a paper signed or not. But at least by heart, by brain, they should be committed to, which is very important. Because even if I get a paper signed and they start answering my call, how I'm gonna trace them, like which address I'm gonna knock, what are they changed the rental properties. So it's important that deep within here, they buy you. That's important.
Yeah.
So I simply asked, like you have small 2 kids, I have 2 kids too, and I feed my family off this. So it's just want to be crystal clear and honest in here. If there was any other person, have you invested their time or taken their time, then they opened up. They said, actually, this person sent their property, but we have never visited a property or something. We don't like what searches he has done it, and plus he doesn't respond. That's not in a contract, it's okay. It's the service-oriented issue, because I also don't want to eat anybody's pie. If somebody has worked, whether they have signed a contract or not, I literally back up. Because if they can take your time, they can also take my time too, which is not fair.
Yeah.
Which is not fair. So I simply say that. But in this case, they haven't invested anybody's time. They're not happy with the service. It was open, and now we're in constant touch. So far it's in the right direction. Hopefully I'll convert them before December.
Before December, so it's the target.
Because once they come and meet me, like in 1 or 2 showings, 9 out of 10 times they'll end up closing. Yeah, 9 out of 10 times for sure. They'll end up closing. Yeah, I think just because our time is very important with the clients. So as much as transparent as open the conversation would be, also make them accountable to, it is very important,
Mhm.
okay? Because if they're not accountable to you and you're just being accountable, then you got taken, it's a lot of it.
Mhm. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are you gonna be here for a bit?
Yes, I'm gonna be here. I just have a.
Okay, maybe.
No, I'll be over there for most of it.
Sounds good.
But thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you. So,
Amazing. Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank you, Papa. See you. See you.
Yeah, I mean. Now's the amazing and and like I said, his business has been developed with online leads and straight up, like that's the majority of the stuff, so.
Yeah, and his goal is the in-person appointment, because that's the highest conversion rate,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And if it means going to a showing with a purpose, right, I think maybe that's something that I should add, is that. Jumping out and running to a showing with purpose is far different than just answering somebody's call and running out without any purpose. So. Cool.
But that's also makes me wonder, like, so gaining online leads,
Mhm,
like through marketing,
mhm.
Facebook presence, you know, your sphere of influence.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
What tools are used and how did you acquire those online leads? And
Yeah, so we will get into this, a little bit further, but.
Yeah, and once I onboard you, I'll send you an invitation for the Academy Facebook page. And we just kind of went through it a couple weeks ago.
Right.
So there's a session that we talk about online leads. So yeah, rewatch that and it's, yeah, really good.
Yeah, but we can talk, I mean, in his case, he just pays a service to get the leads.
Right, yeah.
And then he just has to outperform and get a 4 or 5x return. Whereas a lot of people were just like, happy to get a deal out of it or whatever, but he's spending more and more and more money constantly. Because that's his source.
Yeah.
So he's just,
See, that's in my mind too, because
Yeah.
I'm familiar with
Yeah.
that technique.
Yeah.
Just in,
Yeah.
you know, in business too. So
Yeah.
you need to have an online presence.
Yeah.
And you pay a certain amount for it.
Yeah.
You know, whatever, every quarter, every year, you can increase that marketing budget.
Yeah.
Because it's paying, you know,
As long
you're
as
making
it's
5
going-
times returns on
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
$1,000 a month, whatever. It's just
Yeah.
$1,000 a month to me, 5,000.
Yeah.
That's a good investment,
For sure.
right? And
For sure.
go from there and scale.
Yeah, and he's really good at, he does two things really well online, he screens leads really quickly. And puts them aside, and then finds the good prospects really quickly, and moves them through the process really quickly.
And I like what you said there with, you know, you have a meeting with purpose.
Yeah.
So you already know what you're going in for, you have a plan.
Yeah. I know.
Right,
And
that
it's
also
good.
comes with time and learning.
You get, as long as you're aware and you know to get better at that, then it's just like you just get better and better and better and better. And now he like, whatever, 10 deals a month, and he's like able to organize all that by himself. A little bit with his wife helps him, I think, but right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Assistant, yeah. So, you know, but he can do that much activity, which I don't personally understand how, but. Whatever. Sorry, Nate, I see your hand, sorry, or your, whatever the hell it is.
No worries. I'm not sure if you guys can see me or not. I can't see me, so I just kind of hid. Yeah, some guys fixing my roof, so I had to. That's why I'm online today. But I was wondering, you're talking about like knowing the difference between a client and a customer, and kind of like going showing houses. And I was just curious, when you get an online lead, for example, on a house, so maybe it's a sign call or whatever. Like I noticed that if you say like, do you want to sign the exclusive buyer rep or sign the consumer relationship grant, all these things, if you try to get someone to sign something, especially a new Canadian, they're almost never going to sign before they see a house. So it's like you kind of have the option of like showing them a house or getting them to sign is like typically what I've kind of found. And I was just wondering if you could maybe talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's dependent on each
Yeah.
situation, right? So
Yeah.
if you talk to somebody on the phone and you see that they're really hesitant about, you know, the conversation, you know, signing something or this or that, just
Yeah.
meet them in person, get that ease from them
Yeah.
and build the confidence and the trust.
Totally, I would always, if, it depends obviously on your conversation. But if I felt like there's some opportunity for them to work with me and I know their intent, again. So they're a prospect, I know their intent, I'll go out to meet with somebody who has, who I know that, I know their intent, I know what they're thinking about. And I might go 10 times with them before they move from prospect to client, but that's my judgment call. And I can tell you what, it's not gonna happen very freaking often, effing off, any. And it's not gonna happen very often. But it's just because there's clarity in my mind that I know their intent. If I know their intent, I'll do a lot. To convert them from a prospect to a prospect to a client.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's what I was wondering because I've noticed that like I've tried to get them to sign before going to show them anything, and it's like they're inquiring on a house, and yeah, they just ghost. Like it's the internet people, you know what I mean? But then when you show it to them, sometimes then they sometimes buy. So like I don't know if to, yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to maybe thoughts on that. Like
Maybe I'm naive, but I think like meeting them instead of like, I know like Shaylin suggests like, oh, like let's go for coffee or like whatever and decide, like meeting them at that house and showing them that house and building the value in your service and then presenting maybe is that a good approach? Like, is that a good?
Yeah, and there's reasons too, like to sign, sign them up as clients, because we have liabilities once we go into a property as well, right? So if they injure themselves in the property or different things, like there's certain liabilities that fall into that. So you want to make sure that for the most, like you're signed with someone.
Yeah.
But I think the overriding rule of thumb will be a prospect has intent, and then a client has signed an agreement and hired you. So if you're deciding to go to 30 showings with a prospect, so you know their intent, and you're deciding, that's a business decision. All these little bits are business decisions. Personally, that would not be a business decision that I would make. But if there's the time and your gut is telling you, or whatever the case may be, it's just a business decision. So my only thing is like, keep in mind intent level versus when you can make sure they hire you. And I feel like stopping using the agreement piece is just like them hiring you. And what does it take to hire you? It takes them to sign this document.
I like what you said about like putting that out there though, like let's see if we're compatible, and if you want to hire me, like if you're using that verbiage, then like you said, it's making that connection.
And it's putting a little bit on the
Process forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so going forward, like I can really act in your best interest and really like,
exactly, that's what a service agreement is, right? Like just laying out, and that's part of our job, is that if they're hiring us, they need to know what our responsibilities are, what there are, so it's right there.
Sometimes you put a piece of paper in front of somebody, you're trying to force them to sign, they don't like that, right? Like it's fair way to.
There's two
Like
scary.
back of your mind, you're like, I need you to sign this before it can work
Yeah.
for you,
Yeah.
right? And is that really soft approach in a sense? I think
It's tough. Like to sign, to have to read something quickly is what we intend for them to do, and then sign something is scary, right? So they basically just, for me, it's like, do you want to hire me? Like, can I be your realtor? We'd love to be your realtor. Sign this document just means that you will use me. So.
like, if you don't like my service, you can choose to. They can choose to not carry on with that contract per se.
With,
I don't know if
with
you wanted to say
mutual,
that, but-
yeah, with mutual consent,
Yes,
yes. Or you can write in some kind of exit clause. You can do whatever you want in terms of that, but they do have to be a client of the brokerage for you to be the representative. So that contract piece is the real contract.
Yeah.
But you can write in a termination clause or something that makes them feel more.
Not that you'd really want to, or like, but.
You know what? That buyer's agreement is massively difficult to enforce. So is it worth the paper it's written on? I don't know. Like if your client starts to work with somebody else, you have no recourse except to that agreement with your clients, or are you gonna chase them down? So anyways, but
Yeah.
okay, so just process flow, Sheila, can you just put the. Okay, so we've done this. So lead, unknown, prospect, you're engaged. Customer, you might have had a face-to-face with them. and then they become clients when they hire you. So we can skip out the customer phase if you want, just to keep it simple and just define people as prospects who you know their intent and clients who are hiring you.
And still like consumer relationship guide, that doesn't make you a customer, like it's, cause there's like a customer acknowledgement form or whatever, but any prospect, like you should have this consumer relationship guide.
I think so, no.
Yeah, it's just an acknowledgement on a contract, that's how I make people comfortable with it, it's just, I say, you know, every realtor, kind of like the first point of like conversation about real estate, should go over this with you, just so that you know your options. Just like a quick thing.
Yeah.
And people are generally. fine.
It's very easy usually to get that.
Yeah.
Acknowledged. So we'll start to jump into building a buyer's presentation. So by the end of this module, you'll have a buyer's presentation. Is kind of your thing. There'll be some templates that we can work from, but at the end of the day, if you're deciding to make actual presentations to buyers, you'll have a buyer's presentation, it's yours. And we really work hard on a lot of these presentations to buyers are very heavy on the like stats and information. But I really want you to focus on making emotional connections. It's so much more important to know how they feel than it is to know what they want. What they want changes, how they feel generally stays the same throughout the process. Typically they're scared, they're nervous, they're unsure. So these are the emotions that we need to deal with in a presentation. So how the presentation looks, how it is about you, how it's about you helping people. I hate to be like all soft and fuzzy, but the fact is people make real estate decisions based on emotion. They can make them fast, they can make them slow, but they're always emotional decisions. Think about this. Our clients make $800,000 purchase after walking through a house that they don't know for 20 minutes. Fucking insane. Right? I mean, that's just not, like, if you break it down like that, it's nuts. It's nuts.
More time deciding on a car.
Yeah, deciding on, like, they test drive a car, they don't sleep in the house. Yeah.
24 hours.
Yeah, I wish so I think it's just really important to know that the most important thing for a buyer particularly is understanding buyers, understanding their emotion and where they are on that front. So when we jump to asking how many beds, how many baths, the reason I don't like that is because it's way ahead of what's driving them. Like, why now? What's going on? You know, are your kids moving? Are your kids old enough to go to school? What's behind this need to move? And my favorite question is, what do you hate about your current living situation?
Yeah.
And that really, like, that brings out the emotional piece. They'll either say, what are you talking about? And then that's a great conversation. Or they'll say, I hate the upstairs laundry. Perfect. Now we understand that they hate something about the house. So hate is their emotion. Has less to do about the laundry, because there's gonna be 20 other things about the house that they hate, but they're now feeling that like they have to move. This is just not working
Yeah.
for them.
That's finding their pain point.
Exactly, finding their pain point and the
providing
problems.
solution to that.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, 100%.
There's a
So,
big difference between a first-time home buyer and, you know, somebody who's buying their second or third home
yeah,
too.
yeah. It's funny because there's the commonality is always finance, right? It's always money.
Yeah.
So that's always the pain point, almost no matter what. But the problems that pain point causes are totally different for
Yeah.
every segment of the market.
Yeah.
Right. But at the top of the pain point pyramid would be finances, right? So whether they need to sell to buy something, or whether they need to buy something to stop rent, or whatever it is, almost always you
Yeah,
think
it's
about,
financial.
it's almost financial.
Yeah.
So that's the cool part, though we know that that's usually the emotion driving things. We just need to understand their specific problems.
Yeah. I think too, what you said earlier was ensuring they have the financing.
Yeah.
Like somewhat in place, So now you can search and provide superior service
Yeah.
to that. That also lights up a green light in their eyes too, because they know what they, you know, okay, we acquired the finance. We're
Yeah.
Good for 450,000,
Yeah,
right?
but they also
And
know
they
you're,
know they're feeling good about it. They're
Exactly,
searching.
that's like the excitement phase, and then when
Right.
they sign a contract, then it goes to anxiety phase again, like putting deposit, and then when they waive their
Yeah,
very
conditions,
true.
again, awesome, and then
Yeah.
it's stressful up until possession, and then possession,
Yeah.
awesome, so it's,
Especially
yeah.
waiting for it to be to close and,
Yeah.
oh, maybe there's multiple offers, that's,
even this,
yeah.
there's so much we need to understand, like even, you know, a couple. One may have a different emotional attachment to the house than the other. One might have a more, I guess, be more confident in making a purchase, and the other might not be that confident. So it's like not just one person's emotions, it's the emotions
Yeah.
of everybody in the transaction.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, why do we spend too much time beds and baths when like everything driving this thing is emotion?
And from our point too, we kind of have the same emotions,
Yes.
so like, okay, they have an accepted contract, yay, we're closer to getting paid.
Yeah.
Are the conditions,
Mhm.
are they gonna waive?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
once conditions are waived, okay, one step closer to getting
Yeah.
paid, but literally don't count on the money until it is in your bank account.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
literally, after
So you
possession.
kind of ride
in
it
your-
that way,
Yeah.
essentially sort of together,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So the idea is to nurture these relationships. We'll go through some techniques in nurturing prospects. It's important for you guys to think about, you're gonna be so busy soon enough that you're not going to remember client A, or sorry, well, client, you will literally not unfortunately remember client A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. And you definitely won't be able to, well, maybe people have really good memories. You won't be able to remember the prospects or the leads that you're working on. So it's important to use some kind of tool to maintain that flow. And you heard Carl mention follow boss or whatever. So it's just, and actually his automation process sounds like it's, and I know it's just his phone too, right? He's got reminders set up to call people, text people, and it's all strictly on his phone. So you can do it 100 different ways, but it's like, yeah, in your mind that you need to be nurturing. You need to, nurture means follow up, give information, provide what they need emotionally. But that nurturing is not gonna be done very easily without some kind of automation. People over automate like me, but still find something to do. Then, and it can be literally a notebook. We've had some great realtors who have literally used pen and paper for months and months and months. Did very, very well, and then found something new. Jacob's a good example, I think. Jacob, you know, just didn't know which CRM to use, and he's like researching it for like 2 or 3 months. In the meantime, he just kept I don't know if he kept a spreadsheet. I know he had a lot of stuff on paper, but, you know, decide which one.
With that, like, is there an in-house CRM that people use, or that's a choice of your own?
It is a choice. There is an in-house CRM called MaxTech. I think lots of people do use that.
It's kind of, yeah, provided by Remax.
Yeah.
At no cost.
Yeah.
You just gonna have to go through a list of like what you want out of the CRM.
Yeah.
And then what works for you, basically try to like see the difference between you.
And then, so just the importance of listening and understanding. So for me, my notes in my CRM almost always how the conversation went from an emotional standpoint. Like, hey, Andre was a little bit worried. You know, next call, I need to talk to him a little bit about this, a little bit about that. So typically my content in my notes to myself are more on the emotional end. And then once we get past that and we get into like looking for houses for real, then it might be more around how that showing went, or you know, they're moving from 4 beds to 3 beds. They're looking at different neighborhoods instead of southeast. They're now looking at northwest, east, those kinds of things. But then I'll be able to roll back. If they call me, I can look right on my phone while we're talking, find my notes, and remember. And it seems like I'm remembering 1,000 people, but I only remember one person at a time. So we'll also go through understanding offers and negotiation, making sure. Oh, I can't emphasize this enough. I swear to you, over the last 2 weeks, there's been at least 5 deals people have called me on that would have crashed that we saved. And I only worry about everybody else who isn't making those phone calls.
Yep.
It's been a, would you agree?
Oh, 100%.
Been a shit show.
Yeah,
So there's,
even the difference between mortgage brokers, like.
yeah,
I had a client went through 2 different mortgage brokers, told them they couldn't qualify under 20%, and had somebody who got them.
Yeah. So it's really like, just call us. Honestly, just call, because it's good. Like, it doesn't scare me, because those are the ones that we saved, and we probably, I mean, for me, at least 3 deals with $8,000 to $10,000, $30,000 in commissions that wouldn't have been earned. Might not have been earned, I shouldn't say wouldn't, but it's the scary part is the other 60 or 80,000 in commissions that are being lost. So,
I was gonna ask earlier regarding the mortgage, qualification. So the client is pre-qualified for a mortgage for 350,000 first time home buyer. Can you recommend them to another mortgage broker to maybe, okay, let's work with this one, I've been working with this mortgage broker for many years. I know that he can maybe get you qualified for a little bit more.
Yeah.
Is that something that can be?
There are service
Yeah.
agreements also with brokers, but yeah, yeah. It just depends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, how does that work? Because I've had a client, they got approved with one broker, and literally, even though they signed the commitment.
Well, I think
Yeah,
it's
another
kind of like what
broker.
Tim was saying, like, how hard is it to like enforce it? But yeah, it's just like, but there is an acknowledgement, like that.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, you're right, there is.
It's the same thing, like as a mortgage broker, it's a, really it's the same relationship guy, like the consumer relationship guy, it's all the same. It's like, okay, well, if you're my client, like I have to act in your best interest. You know, at all times, like follow all legal instruction, all that stuff, right? So it's the same way that way. So it's kind of like, I mean, I guess I would say before, unless you like if you have a broker that you're like, I love this guy or girl and they're absolutely top notch at what they do and I trust them like above anybody else. I would just say like push back on the other broker if you know, if you're not that, like if you're not like super, if you don't have Superman at your side, then I would say like just go push back at the other broker and say, hey, because the pre-approval is kind of loose too. It's not a real. Well, yeah, and it's like, cause depending on the lender that they got the pre-approval with, it may, you know, the terms may change when there's actually a subject property and there's so many moving parts, so.
Yeah.
I would say like, use the pre-approval as a rule of thumb, if you think it's like way off, like if they make 200K a year and they only got approved for, you know what I mean, then maybe you should look at it again, but otherwise I'd say just. Hey, try this property or push back and say, hey, is there something we can do to increase it or something?
Yeah.
I think it's the kind of the same as, you know, there's different, a wide range of realtors, right? Some who can only do this, some who can, like Tim said, like figure out how to negotiate, fix a deal or not even get to that situation. So I think same with mortgage brokers, and all service providers, like huge difference with home inspectors. Like I was just at a
Yeah.
property with Wahida last night, going over home inspection findings, and we're like, these people are on crack. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So yeah, just wide range and just
Yeah.
you kind of learn who you can trust, and there's different people for different types of things, right? Like
Sure.
an investment specialist realtor who's been in the business 20 years knows more about investments than I do. Like I'll be straight up about that, right? It's different things. So same thing, there's different mortgage brokers for different things and
Yeah, for sure.
different specialties.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, because every mortgage broker they have access to different lenders too.
Yeah.
Right, so that's what I was just thinking, okay, we can recommend you get, you know.
And to Shayla's point, they typically, like, most people will have like a niche market that they work with, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's some people that are focused on investments, some people are focused on like debt consolidation, like they have.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
all right. Feedback in. So, and then, yeah, as we go through the, contracts, we'll talk about common pitfalls to avoid little tiny things that usually end up as very big things, or can end up as very big things. Choosing dates, choosing times, choosing how how the contract's structured, there's a lot, and we'll go through. And then finalizing the purchase, so we'll also talk a fair bit about compliance, but also things that can happen with closings that you can avoid. People assume that once your client as a buyer has waived conditions on financing and on inspection, there can still be issues that may come up because of actions that they take. So we'll go through some of that too. So I think Shailen said it, like a deal, and don't be afraid to look at these as deals. Like, we're in the business of making freaking money. Put a number at this. I don't care. I always put a number on top of the deals based on, the amount of the property. And I know that if I can successfully help people to close this deal, I'm gonna make $8,500. Is there anything wrong with that? Like, I don't know. That's my personal feeling. Like, obviously, the only way you're getting that outcome is to help the folks purchase. But don't be shy around thinking money. And then, yeah, just we'll talk about educating buyers about the contract process. There is a lot in that contract. It's a 6-page contract developed over 30 years. It's super solid. It's a contract that most lawyers hate, because there's just no room for plus or minus. It doesn't benefit buyers, and it doesn't benefit sellers. It's a pure kind of contract of equality. So, knowing that, there are some different ways to get your buyer's advantage, and how you should treat the contract process. And just as an example, yeah. I don't know how to explain this, but as realtors, we are dealing with pretty decently sophisticated contract. When we start talking to other realtors about the terms of the contracts and not sharing those discussions on paper, is when we can really get into challenges for our customers. So it's in our buyer's best interest to have, to make an offer if they get countered, and then to make sure that the contract goes back and forth on paper. You can have an initial discussion with a seller about price or something like that, but you can't, if your client wants to make an offer and they instruct you to make that offer, and then have it obviously on paper. Don't discuss it with your client or with the seller specifically, because they can counter, and then back and forth and back and forth. And any time there's something on paper, one of the parties can sign it and accept it. If it is not on paper and it's just your verbal diarrhea between two realtors, it means absolutely nothing. But how many people buy cars when they don't really want them because there's a piece of paper in front of them to sign? So as realtors, we have to be very careful. There's a fine line between having kind of discussions and feeling out the other realtor, or getting your client's offer in front of their client to make the decision right then and there, or make the decision, period.
And having the offers. Yeah, and having an offer is like more real to people, right? So you might have a very stern, stubborn seller that's like, I'm not taking any less. And then your offer comes in.
Yeah.
And maybe you can work something out.
Exactly. And that realtor might have called their client, if they do call their client, sometimes they just don't even, they act as if they're the client, which is terrible right now. But if they do call their client and say, hey, I had a verbal offer of 200,000 on the property. The client's like, forget that. Like, we listed it for 220. So that's one thing that can happen. Or the paper can slip into the seller's hands, and then they can see that $200,000 mark on there and say, hey, all I have to do was to sign this document to get this price, done. So that same offer you've screwed over your buyer client. They're not actually presenting an offer, a physical offer, because too lazy, unexperienced, whatever it is. We're really gonna emphasize this, but make sure it's offer, written counter, written, all the way in.
And then even the verbiage of like realtor to realtor, what you say and don't say, and
Yeah.
like it's so tricky, like
Totally.
just like the last week, like a couple of deals, like I could have lost it if, like a deal for my client, if I had said the wrong thing, or,
Yeah.
you know, scared them a little bit, or this or that, give too much information.
Yeah, and you'll get those, I've lost lots of deals that are basically go like this. Offer, counter offer. I discuss what I'm gonna come back with, or what my client's gonna come back with the realtor says, okay. I tell my client we have a deal, or, we're close to a deal, and that client won't sign it when it does arrive on paper. So if it arrived on paper the first time to that seller, and the realtor was talking about the deal, it was in front of the person, they agreed to at that point, they would have signed it. I would have said, just get me the written contract, the signed contract, and then I'll let my client know. So there's nuances that really, you guys don't have to learn the hard way. You don't have to learn like I did with multiple deals falling through, because I was stupid enough to think that I didn't need the contract and that I could negotiate with somebody verbally. You can't, because you're not actually negotiating with the other lawyer, or the other realtor at that point. So anyways, Nate, you had a question? Or is that from before?
No, it's good. I did have a question. Sorry. Thank you. If a client like insists on putting out some lowball offers, like I have a client right now, or not a client, customer who wants to offer someone half the value of their house, and I want to fire them. Well, we haven't signed anything yet, but it was like, oh, we're probably not going to work together. Can you do a termination agreement? Like, I know we're supposed to work for them and they're supposed to be in charge, but if they're insisting on like lowballing people who are not serious, how do we kind of handle that?
Do you have an agreement with them?
No,
Like,
I send him the forms. He doesn't sign them, so we don't have an agreement. But I send him the forms, and he wants to like offer half the value of the house. And I'm like, I haven't even followed up with him to get him to sign it because I don't want to work with him.
Yeah, I'm with you.
If you want the practice, go for it, because sometimes, like the odd time, people just need that reality slap from someone else to show them, like, no one's gonna play your game like that. Like, it's not the market. You show them the stats, everything that you can, and then sometimes they just need to see it for themselves.
Right.
That's one of
All
those, like, that's extreme. I would just say, sorry,
Well,
I'm not your realtor.
yeah, and we don't know anything about the property, so maybe it is way overpriced. I don't know. Like, you have to get
It's not. It's not. He's just lowballing because he just thinks he's just dreaming.
But
I don't think it's
yeah,
worth it.
honestly-
Based on what? Like based on nothing? Like, okay.
Good
If I was
morning.
you,
Good morning.
I would practice that kind of discussion where you're just probing to try to find out, where he's at. It'll be a very difficult probe, but that will be very good practice.
And
Very
maybe
good
he's
practice.
only qualified for half the amount of that house too. Like, do you know what he's pre-approved for?
He's cash too. He's got more than enough money. He has more than enough money. He's just lowballing. He's a cash buyer.
Well, sometimes they'll surprise you and they'll come up too. Like, you don't know,
Yeah,
maybe, but
yeah, have that probing discussion, find out what the deal is with him in terms of emotion, but like what he wants. It sounds like he's probably an investor, bullshit investor.
Hi.
Which is usually where they start, to be perfectly honest. So
Right.
I've had a couple of doozies
Yeah.
where I laughed at where they started and they ended up buying houses, so.
Okay.
Could be an opportunity, really, like if you, I don't know, like, I don't know shit about shit, but if you have the conversation with him about why his offer is unrealistic, that like, hey, listen, I'll take your offer to the seller, but this is why it's not going to work, and this is where I think you actually should be. And then when the seller, and then he goes,
No. Just be careful with this one. That's the exact opposite. I honestly, this is not a discussion with sellers or buyers, this is like get the contract in front of the seller.
Yeah,
But you're right, you're 100% correct. Find out why this person is like approaching this way. And it might be that they approach it because they wanna do this, they always offer the first offer, they offer whatever,
That's
and
just
then
what
they work
do.
their way up, yeah.
yeah,
But as far as discussions around offers at this stage, there is no discussion.
until there's an agreement.
There's no.
But and that's where we're at. I send them the agreement and I'm said sign this and we can talk about it. But and I'm like I haven't even followed up. So don't I
Hey,
don't know.
hi,
Yeah, Anthony,
Nate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go.
Nate. They're giving you very good points, Nate. This is an excellent opportunity for you to learn, as well
Right.
as the client to learn on the fly, because I believe with Terry Feranovich that said always tell the truth, right?
Right.
So so long as you tell them the truth exactly how it's gonna go as it
Right.
unravels, like the biggest decider should be, do you think they actually want to buy? And then if they can buy, if those two are a go, then go for it, because it's still an opportunity for him to learn and understand. You don't know where he's coming from, right? So
Right.
part of your job is to kind of shape him. If it's not for this deal, it might be for the next one. If he sees that you were committed and you were with him the whole time, he's going to give you that same loyalty when he does get more reasonable. So don't throw the baby out with the bathwater as yet. And
Okay.
again, it's an opportunity for you to even get your skin thicker, because you're gonna need thick skin out here.
Right. Right. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thanks, Anthony, it's bang on.
Thank you.
I
And if
just,
he is just a shit person, then it's a learning process, so.
Yeah.
it's good.
Thank you.
problem is we know he's gonna learn, that's the hard part. Okay, so we'll talk, about post-purchase, nurturing as well. But what we're gonna try to do is a couple different things, so we'll do a couple role plays. Next, next Tuesday, I guess it will be, or next Wednesday, yeah. So next Wednesday, we'll do some role playing scenarios around converting, leads into prospects, so just kind of that first stage of getting to understand people's intent. And then, we will work on developing actual, buyer's guide, buyer's presentation. It's really a good crutch a lot of times for people going to meet with people. It's a great, motivator for you to book appointments with people. You're actually gonna present and talk about something with them. So try to get that in your own hands, in your own design and everything else. And then we'll do some negotiation practice. We'll work with the contract and talk about some different ways to negotiate with it. First time ever, sellers love that. Sellers love that. My idea, well, my idea, somebody else did it and it worked. Okay, so the seller was, in this case, was older and it was the seller telling the buyer, which was uncertain
Yeah.
price wise,
Okay.
telling the buyer what's great about the neighborhood, the neighbors, the community, it's not a bad idea.
But, yeah.
Like if you think about it, like we always write.
You have to be careful, like how you word it, because if you say quiet neighborhood
Yeah.
and you're, the
Yeah.
neighborhood's like all
Yeah.
loud or.
Yeah. Yeah.
you Get sued, but,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
It's very. Yeah, it has to be very generic, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's also where the seller, just the fact that the seller is reaching out to the buyer.
Yeah.
If you're in the right spot in the process, like
Yeah.
it could hurt too, but it was really cool. Yeah. So, something different, anyways, that's off topic. So, but on topic is, we'll talk about negotiating with your client's intention, helping negotiate, advantages that your client might bring to the seller. So we'll get into everything. So the contract is one thing, and to me, it's like the tool that we have to put on paper what our clients' advantages are for that purchase. Including. Okay, so next session, prospecting and nurturing techniques, we'll do that little exercise. All right.
It's good.
So. Book appointments. Book appointments. Book bullshit appointments. If you actually go. It's like, just practice booking appointments with people. Like those techniques of, would you like to have 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, or what's best for you, like the 2 or 3 options to book into, all these little pieces, you'll just get better and better and better at. So just start somewhere and start with 1 appointment a week if you have to. Just do what you want to do and then just get better and better and better and better appointment booking.
Awesome.
And I would.
What about, like, is anybody going to different events, like, other?
There's